Tag Team Pokemon. They're all the rage right now, and with their clear success, it's pretty likely they'll stay at the top for quite some time. But for those of us looking to play something else, we need to dig a bit deeper and explore the lesser used cards. Fortunately, the upcoming rotation is looking to really shake things up, making this the perfect time to start building new decks. Will any of these less popular cards have what it takes to stand up to these titanic tag teams? This is World's 2020 Deck Building, featuring Amoonguss, the Mushroom Pokemon. Let's take a moment to talk about status effects, or how they call it nowadays, special conditions. During the Sun and Moon era, there were plenty of cards that tried to make special conditions work, ranging from things like making them do more damage, making them stick around longer, or even being able to apply them without having to attack. So why haven't special conditions had any success? Well, besides cards like Life Herb and Big Malasada being able to remove them, the most common way of cleansing your Pokemon has always been just, switching them to the bench. And no card does that better than your boy Guzma. Pretty much a staple in every single deck since its release, this card single-handedly denied these kinds of decks with its ability to switch your own Pokemon, and removing even the trickier conditions like sleep or paralysis was easy peasy. Still, special conditions are slowly creeping their way back into the game, like Celebi and Venusaur applying 3 different flavors, or even Jirachi just taking several naps. So since Guzma's likely to rotate in August, let's revisit these kinds of decks, starting with Amoonguss from our following set, Unified Minds. Its ability states that, once per turn, when you play a Pokemon from your hand with the attack Spore, the defending Pokemon becomes asleep and poisoned. And, for 2 colorless energies, the attack deals 20 damage plus 70 if the defending Pokemon is poisoned. Fortunately, its pre-evolution Foongus has the attack Spore, so it synergizes well with itself. Overall, the card sounds decent, but combine it with a few other cards, and we've got a deck that we can literally call Sleeper OP. Let's start with the Pokemon. We've already talked about Amoonguss, and by now we know that he's not really cut out to be our main attacker. Still, it's one of the most important cards in our deck, and that's why we're including 3 Amoonguss and 4 of its pre-evolution Foongus. The more spores, the better. These 2 aren't the only fun guys in this deck, as seen with our main attacker Breloom. His first attack is Spore, which just puts his opponent to sleep. We probably won't ever be using this attack, but it's important to have it because it applies Amoonguss' ability whenever you put Breloom in play. The second attack is actually the one we're looking forward to use. Sleep Strike deals 30 damage for a single grass energy, and does an additional 90 if the defending Pokemon is asleep, for a total of 120. Add that tick of poison and you're dealing 130. While it may sound low, keep in mind that your opponent's active Pokemon is also asleep, and if they fail the coin flip, they're likely to get stuck in the active. If you're able to strike for 120 twice and having applied 3 ticks of poison, you're dealing 270 damage, enough to KO almost any tag team Pokemon in 2 turns. We're running 4 copies of Breloom and 4 copies of Shroomish as well. Next on our list is Ariados from Celestial Storm. He's a bit fragile, but like most bugs, annoying as heck. Both of its attacks cost a single energy. The first one, Reactive Poison, deals 20 plus 50 for every special condition affecting your opponent's active Pokemon. With Amoonguss applying 2 of them, Ariados serves as a great backup attacker, dealing the same amount of damage as Breloom, 120. His second attack, Spider Trap, lets you choose any of your opponent's bench Pokemon and put it in the active slot, while also applying Sleep and Poison. It's a situational but strong attack that can help you take out annoying bench sitters. Ariados evolves from Spinarak, which gives us 2 cards to choose from, both of them Paralyze and Poison, but one of them relies on a coin flip while the other just sends itself to the Lost Zone. Personally, I'd take this one, because if you happen to have Spinarak out in the active, it'd be best if it actually did something. With so many Stage 1 Pokemon, we're going to go ahead and run a Ditto Prism Star. This not only helps us set up easier, but also lets us keep more Foongus in our hand, so we can save them for Amoonguss' ability. So this is what the lineup looked like. Our main attacker, our secondary attacker, and our support. Oh, and Ditto. Let's move on to the trainers now. First of all, let's take a look at how we're going to search for a Pokemon. Elm's Lecture is an excellent card, letting us search for 3 Pokemon with less than 60 HP. This isn't our only way of finding our basic Pokemon, since we're running Netball as well. This card lets us grab any basic grass Pokemon, or basic grass energy, from our deck. We've taken care of our basic Pokemon, so all that's left is a way to find our evolutions, and that's where Pokemon Communication comes in. It lets us trade any Pokemon we've got left over in our hand to find them. We're running 4 of each of these cards, so our setup can be as consistent as possible. Next, let's add some draw power. We're running 4 Cynthia, so we can shuffle our hand and draw 6. 1 Erika's Hospitality, since it's a great draw supporter in the mid to late game. 1 Judge, to be able to disrupt our opponent as well. After that, we'll add 4 Pokegear to boost our chances of finding any of these supporters, and 4 Judge Whistles to be able to dig through our deck or just reuse our Judge. We're down to our last remaining slots, and here's where I'll include one of the strongest cards in this deck, Slumber Forest. Releasing in the next set, this card is outstanding for decks that like to put others to sleep. This new stadium makes any player with a Pokemon affected by sleep have to flip heads twice for it to wake up, essentially dropping the chance of waking up from 50% to a mere 25%. If your opponent doesn't have an escape board or a switching card in hand, there's a good chance they're not going anywhere. 2 of these stadiums seems like a good number. It's a strong card that you'll want to draw often. We'll add 2 Shrine of Punishments as well, to help us soften up the bulkier Pokemon. And since we're already caring for stadiums, we'll go ahead and try out this new item, Stadium Navigator. It's pretty much a timer ball, but for stadiums. Flip 2 coins, and for each heads, you get to search for a stadium in your deck. So here's our list so far. The Pokemon, and the trainers. We have 9 slots left, so we'll be adding 9 grass energies. Almost all of our attacks cost a single energy, and since Netball lets us search for basic grass energies, we essentially have 13 ways to find one. Other cards I've considered adding are Kartana, that deals 130 damage for a single grass energy, if you have 4 prizes left. Unfortunately, if the first Pokemon you knock out is a tag team, you'll drop to 3 prizes, rendering Kartana almost useless. Koga's Trap is another good card, which poisons and confuses the opponent's active Pokemon. This not only makes your opponent have even less chances of attacking, but also lets Ariados hit for 170 damage if your opponent's active Pokemon was already asleep. So that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. If you have any decks that you'd like to see in a video like this, leave a comment down below. This is Tex from Poketex. Goodbye.